don't know, sometimes you just see something in a movie or a toy or looking through old magazines or art books on monsters and creatures, and sometimes you just sort of want to like put them together, and it's like amalgamation of a lot of inspirations. But for me, it's probably a lot of it's skull based, as you can probably see in a lot of stuff that I create as well as what I collect. So hi, my name is Bradford. I make toys under the Blitzkrieg Toys moniker. Actually, this year will be my 10th anniversary of making toys, so it's pretty exciting. What inspired me to make my own toys? I guess it's from a lifelong of collecting and being inspired by movies of monsters and creatures and comic books and toys and just collecting in general, and having a passion for art. I always loved the idea of creating, even building stuff with your hands. So it's just, I guess it's just a collection of all those inspirations coming together and meeting the right people and all that sort of stuff. I guess I would call myself one of the co-founders of Creature Bazaar. I mean, it's kind of grown into a much larger collective of creatives and artists, but I founded it with my buddy Huang Lee a lot of years ago now. Don't ask me. I was working on a project with my friend Christopher Ulrich, and we were creating a bunch of crazy like fantasy sort of medieval art and stuff, and I talked about doing toys, and we were both friends with George Gaspar, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know out there. He's, a super talented sculptor and creator on his own right, and we talked to him about sculpting something for us, so we created the Doomov character, which is like a four-sided sort of medieval looking like wizard, but on his back he has sort of a demon head, and he has a castle turret on the top of his head, sort of like an idea of a weird mythological medieval kaiju character. We did that together, and that was the first toy I did. I went through Data Dub Dawn for my initial production with everything, and then finally I got connected with Corey over at Science Patrols to run my production, and he's been helping me ever since. Once I had like the first toy getting made in Japan and I was gonna start receiving the vinyl, I was like, oh man, I need to figure out how to airbrush. I had always been artistic most of my life and done a bunch of different stuff, and had played around with the airbrush when I was younger, but I hadn't really picked up an airbrush seriously before. So I bought this airbrush here. I think this is still my first airbrush. And I bought this, and I bought rubber dinosaurs and started practicing on them before I received my vinyl, and kind of taught myself at that point to learn how to paint toys, and it's been a process ever since. So I paint everything here in the studio, cut and assemble everything. So I pretty much do all that as far as the toys that come from Japan. With Creature Bazaar, we have made, like the mascot toys and a few other things that are factory painted, but for the most part, all of our stuff is, painted either by myself or Kwong on the Creature Bazaar stuff.
Is where you produce your toys important, or do you have reasoning for choosing where certain things are made?
Yeah, I think certain projects work better in certain boxes, whereas like Japan, having access to short run, different colors and stuff that I have a passion for painting and want to do a bunch of different versions and like to do smaller release numbers and kind of play around with that medium. As far as China, if you want something that looks really like a toy, like that you would find on the shelves in a toy store, China's great. Their factory painting's awesome. We do our Creature Kid mascot that we make there, and the thing looks awesome as far as how the execution of the paint schemes. I mean, it looks like a children's mascot toy, which was really important to me, for it to feel like a real toy as opposed to like a sort of a soft vinyl, like artist kind of painted toy. As far as Mexico goes, I mean, I run the gamut of inspirations and likes, and doing some fun, sort of really bootleg style creatures. I mean, Mexico's sort of the home of that, so to take it there and make that style toy in Mexico was really fun and inspiring, and kind of a cool story because it kind of fits the narrative of creating and sort of what the end product needs to look like, I guess. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hustle to see your thing into fruition. I always tell people, it's like, if you don't love it, don't make it, because you're gonna have 50 of these things show up in your garage and you're gonna have to figure out what are you gonna do with them. One, it's a labor of love. Two, don't make something that you don't love, right? Don't try to follow a trend, because you have to live with this thing. This thing will take between 6 months and a year to see this from like your final sculpt, to see it in your hands. So you can't make something to try to like fit, like be on a current, like a hot trend or something, because it doesn't manifest that fast.
You've recently started sculpting your own toys and having them produced in Japan with the Alien Zor. You want to talk about how that came to life?
I was inspired by one of Michael's drawings he did for the Creature Bazaar movie night, with sort of a similar version of an alien with like 3 eyes, kind of Conagon-esque from Ultra Q. So I thought it was fun, and I'm always trying to learn more about making things and creating. So I was trying to give my hand at trying a little sculpting and trying to do a simple like 2-part figure in sort of Apache style. And fortunately that's about as good as my sculpting is, so I think he fits into that Apache world pretty good. I guess we're always, as creators, trying to evolve and get better with each passing project, and try to push yourself in different directions and take inspiration of stuff and move in that direction, and try to make, I try to like make things that are maybe a little bit different than what other people are making, and try to stand out in the world of creatives. There's so many talented people out there doing so much amazing stuff that it's really, it's really cool to kind of push yourself in that realm. And as far as what I'm most proud of, this is kind of my most recent character. It's this sort of severed head demon with a removable like scythe blade that comes out of his mouth, and inspired by all like the Japanese era severed head toys that were done in like I think the 70s and the 80s, from the model kits to the little walkers and stuff. It's sort of my sort of homage to that, my sort of version. And it's like the Namakubi Akuma, which is like severed devil's head or demon's head. Pretty happy about this. It should be coming out later this year.
Do you have a favorite piece in terms of collaborations, whether it's a Blitzkrieg collaboration or a Creature Bazaar thing? Because you guys have worked with a lot of phenomenal companies.
One of my most favorite is probably working with Ken from Headlock. He's such a legendary toy maker and such a great guy, and to be able to fit in his sort of crazy world of characters and allow us in, is really special. I remember first meeting him. He's always been a great guy, and it's super cool to collaborate with him. Aside from the obvious of getting to create and work out that sort of energy and sort of all the stuff that runs around and in your mind and wanting to get it out, it's the friendships that I've made, and the travel that I've got to do, and things I've gotten to experience through these relationships, and the networking of so many amazing artists from stateside to internationally. I feel really fortunate to have friends all over the world, and it's a big, amazing group of creatives that I get to hang out with and collaborate and share stories and events. It means a lot.
Is there an end in sight, or are you going to make toys forever?
I'm kind of hooked at this point. As you can see around, kind of a junkie when it comes to that. I love creating in my workshop space. I love being surrounded by all the different toys that they're either vintage inspirations or stuff from friends of mine. It's cool to look around and be inspired by all the different makers and stuff, and it's kind of why I like my studio like this. I'd hate to paint and create in just a white box. It's not my style. You can find me on Instagram at Blitzkrieg Toys, as well as at Creature_Bazaar on Instagram. Find me in Japan a lot, you know, several times a year. All the good shows like Designer Con, Monster Palooza, SummerSlam, San Diego Comic-Con. Doing another event with Mandarake in August at their Coco store. Daimonsai, I don't know, all over the place.
Show's over. Come back tomorrow.